In the headlines, explosive attack in Shiroro area of Niger State kills civil defense commander. APC fixes March 26th for national convention as governors meet president on Tuesday. Information Minister Lai Mohammed visits Media Trust Limited, blames insecurity on absence of governance at the local level. And on the foreign scene, Taliban to create Afghanistan Grand Army with old regime troops. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. The details now. Many people have been reportedly killed as improvised explosive devices planted by terrorists on the routes of the security operatives went off in Galadima Kogo community, Shiroro local government areas of Niger State. Confirming the incident, Niger State Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs, Community Development and Internal Security, Emmanuel Umar, blamed it on the activities of informants who he believed might have hinted the terrorists of the movement of security operatives to the community. Among those who lost their lives are 4 officers of the Niger State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, including the commander of the team, Muhammad Ibrahim, who hails from Kuta, the headquarters of Shiroro local government area. The joint task force comprising the military and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps were said to have responded to distress calls from Galadima Kogo of the ongoing operations by terrorists where the entire community was reportedly set ablaze. The driver of the vehicle who sustained serious injuries was taken to IBB Specialist Hospital, Mina, Niger State for medical attention. Galadima Kogo and its neighboring communities have been under the terrorist and bandits siege since Friday, where no fewer than 8 persons were killed between Friday night and Sunday afternoon. President of Southern Kaduna People's Union says over 108 communities are sacked and over 150,000 people displaced by terrorists in the southern part of the state alone. Jonathan Asake said this when the union and a non-governmental organization visited internally displaced persons camps in 3 local government areas in the zone. The camps are located in Chikun, Jama'a and Zangon Kataf. The union and NGO distribute food items as well as free health care services to them. The report.
Narrating their ordeal, the internally displaced say that their loved ones were killed, while others are still missing with valuables and properties destroyed.
Now, these people come to rape our women, they come to do a lot of things, and so we have no choice. Our people had no choice, but they have to come and look for safety.
They keep on coming to attack us, kidnapping people and killing our men. So we could not be it any longer. We have to leave and come here.
Members of the NGO said that they will come up with a skills acquisition program and train the internally displaced persons to become self-reliant.
Our engagement with stakeholders in the field also showed that people require medical support. We understand that there are people that have had to be amputated just because they couldn't afford 2,000, 5,000 naira for medical bills. There are people who suffered fractures. There are people who will require bullets to be extracted from their bodies.
Feeding them now is just the beginning of everything. We're already putting together a package where they can begin to learn skills. And all of this, and this is something that has to be sustainable because you may not be able to continue feeding these people in their number. We pray that all these menace will end. But before then, let them be able to get to a point where they can fend for themselves. So of course, digital skills will come in, advanced farming will be taught, and all of these other social things will find spaces.
Most of these relations that have taken these families in, these distressed families, some will take 7-member families, 14-member families, 20. In fact, I know of a family that took in 37 people. And they went to a point where they did not have any more food to eat in the house. And some will have to go begging. And just like Dr. Manzo has mentioned here, there is, again, need for medication.
Between January and February, over 50 persons have been killed in Zango Kataf, Kauru and Kaura local government areas of the zone.
Now, Muslims and Christians in Gombe meet to strengthen interreligious harmony in the state. Northeast Development Commission convened the meeting to promote dispute and conflict resolution in a multi-religious and multi-ethnic society. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
After more than a decade-long activities of insurgents in the Northeast region, rebuilding life does not only stop at provision of food and shelter, but also entails refreshing minds. The Northeast Development Commission, saddled with the responsibility of rebuilding the region, has taken up the challenge to help strengthen harmony and understanding among people of different religious beliefs.
Because we have seen what insurgency has done to the region. So we don't want anything of such to repeat itself. So we like to use each and every avenue that will bring peace to the region, to make sure that people are being enlightened from the grassroots to know what is really the benefit of staying with one another, living in peace. These are the kind of things we want the Northeast to be. That is the reason why we engage in such kind of training and at the same time workshops.
Participants were chosen from Christian and Muslim faith with the support of community leaders.
On behalf of the government, we are delighted because this is the kind of engagement and help we are looking for corporate organizations and other developmental organizations to come in and partner with the state government to help and develop our people, the society in general. The issue of conflict resolution and peaceful togetherness cannot be overemphasized. So we are really happy on behalf of the government to have this kind of engagement in Gombe.
Some of the participants shed more light on their experience in the sessions.
Because I have learned a lot that we have to actually tolerate one another for us to live in peace. We need to respect, each other's religion.
I get to know that living peacefully in between Muslim, Christian, and other traditional religions is very easy to achieve our goals, irrespective of our leaders, religion, ethnic, and other differences.
I learned so many things about the religion's bias which is happening among our society. So I learned how to settle with a person which is not on the same religions with him, like a Christian and Muslim. You have to settle with the Christian and take him like his brother, because don't show him any religion bias. By doing this, we have a peaceful living with each other, despite the different religions.
This is not the first time such training is being organized by the Northeast Development Commission in Gombe State. It is hoped that such interactions will broaden understanding among people of different ethnic and religious beliefs for peace and unity. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Now, in line with the mandate of maintaining peace in its area of responsibility and interact with civil populace for economic and social-cultural development, the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, has marked the 2021 West African Social Activities, popularly called WASA. They report.
The celebration at the headquarters of the 6th Division in Port Harcourt involved men and officers from other army formations in its area of responsibility who unwind with the people to mark the event. General Officer Commanding of the 6th Division, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, said WASA is meant to take officers and soldiers away from routine regimented life to an atmosphere where they unwind and relax with families and civilians.
We are gathered there for the traditional West African social activity, which is just like an event where we get to, entertain our guests, our families, and generally to have a good time with the Bala community.
Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, called on citizens to cooperate with the military on information dissemination in order to stamp down crime and criminality in the country. Represented by Secretary to the State Government, Tami Dang Agogo, the governor said that recently crime in the state has reduced, encouraging the military to put more efforts in the fight against crime, especially illegal refining products, popularly called bonfire.
Today's occasion will go a long way to refresh the personnel of the 6th Division, or refresh them from the rigorous training and duties of the year 2001. I wish to specially commend the GOC 6th Division for the efforts put in place since your assumption of office to fight all forms of criminality, especially in the areas of oil bunkering, kidnapping, etc., in your area of responsibility. Your effort, no doubt, has brought about peace in the South-South region.
General Officer Commanding and Land Component Commander Operations Delta Safe, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, said that the formations will also come up with modalities that will checkmate the challenges faced by the military to make Nigeria better.
I want to describe last year as a very successful year. In terms of training activities, operations conducted, all in line with the vision of the Chief Army Staff. I think all were successful. And going forward, what we intend to do is to up our tempo in terms of actualizing our mandates. Right? They're all aware that we have challenges, and we intend to come up with modalities that will checkmate those challenges and make Nigeria better.
Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the All Progressives Congress has picked March 26, 2022 for its convention. Addressing newsmen at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja after a closed-door meeting, the Secretary of the Caretaker Committee, Senator John James, said the preparation for the convention will commence on the 24th of February 2022. He said the zonal congresses will hold before the national convention slated for 26th of March 2022. Earlier, the committee led by Maimala Buni had postponed the party's February 26th national convention indefinitely to evaluate the party's constitution. Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says absence of effective governance at the local and subnational levels contributes to the lingering security issues in the country. The minister made the remarks during a courtesy visit on media trusts, owners of Daily Trust and Trust TV. Mohammed also seeks for a robust partnership with the platforms in tackling rising cases of ritual killings in the country. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Lai Mohammed, while responding to questions on the sidelines of the visit, says inability to address existing social challenges such as growing number of out-of-school children, lack of employment opportunities, slow down national efforts to tackle the insecurity challenge.
A lot of the problem also, I think, stems from lack of governance, especially at the sub-national level. I'm not here to criticize either state or local government, but I'm saying that if there's more, presence of government in the rural areas, especially in the states, I think it will also be a way to address really the area of the non-kinetic aspect of addressing the banditry issue, addressing the issue of Boko Haram.
He earlier told the management of Media Trust Limited that the Buhari government is worried about the rising wave of ritual killings in the country, which led to the murder of 150 women and girls. This situation, he says, prompted a decision by the government to launch a national campaign against the challenge.
I was delighted to read a newspaper editorial on the scourge of ritual killings yesterday, Sunday. I implore the Daily Trust and indeed all media organizations to join the campaign against the scourge. For those who may still be in doubt, ritual killings have assumed a worrisome dimension in recent years. According to an NGO, Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, 150 women and girls were killed for ritual purposes between January 2018 and December 2021.
The management, led by the acting chief executive officer, appreciates the minister's visit, which affords the opportunity for a robust engagement between the two parties for a mutually beneficial relations.
The important takeaways for me is the sensitive issue of ritual killing that you mentioned repeatedly in your speech, which is of concern to any sensible Nigerian, whoever he is. This should concern us. And I think as a media house, we will do all we can to support the government.
The host team used the opportunity to engage the minister on a wide range of contemporary professional, social, political and economic issues as he commended the accelerated expansion of the company.
I want to use this opportunity to congratulate Media Trust Limited on the debut of their TV channel, Trust TV, which is already making waves in the industry. I heard from the grapevine I will soon be invited to appear on the new TV channel. I await the invitation.
He is later taken around some operational areas. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Investigative panel said by Zamfara State Chief Judge Justice Kulu Aliyu has begun sitting in Gusau with former Permanent Secretary and Chief Accounting Officer in the Office of the Deputy Governor, Mahdi Gusau, giving his testimony. The witness told the panel that the Deputy Governor misappropriated funds. The Permanent Secretary, who is the third witness out of the 7 witnesses who presented their testimonies during the maiden sitting of the 7-man investigative panel probing the state's Deputy Governor, Mahdi Gusau, over impeachment allegations against him. The state's Deputy Governor, Mahdi Gusau, who is the respondent on the case, however, did not appear nor send counsel to represent him before the probe panel. The complainant, who is the Zamfara State House of Assembly, is accusing the state's Deputy Governor, Mahdi Gusau, of breach of the Constitution, financial fraud, and abuse of office. The Assembly had presented the 7 witnesses to testify before the probe panel and submit evidence. Chairman of the probe panel, retired Justice Halidu Soba, adjourned the proceedings to Tuesday, 22nd February 2022 for continuation of sitting. The 7 witnesses were the Secretary to the Zamfara State Executive Council, Abubakar Muhammad, the State Head of Service, Kabiru Muhammad, former Permanent Secretary and Chief Accounting Officer in the Office of the State's Deputy Governor, Mainasara Shehu Bakura, Director, Finance in the Deputy Governor Office, Maikano Muhammad Yanrua. Others are Cashier in the Office of the Deputy Governor, Lawali Adamu, Saidu Abdullahi, and Yusuf Sabu. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. How Nasarawa mechanic survives bandits' attack. For details and more, join us again. Welcome back. You're watching Trust News Update. Let's have another look at the top stories again. Many people have been reportedly killed as improvised explosive devices planted by terrorists on the routes of security operatives went off in Galadima Gogo community, Shiro local government area of Niger State. Plus, caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee of the All Progressives Congress has picked March 26, 2022 for its convention. And in other news, Nigeria has recorded 32 COVID-19 infections in 4 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, in its Monday's update, showed that 38 persons were discharged after they recovered from the infection. Meanwhile, no death reported, bringing the total number of fatalities to 3,142. In total, 254,325 cases have been confirmed, with 230,793 recoveries. In other update, Hong Kong authorities say that they discovered COVID-19 in samples taken from the packaging of imports of frozen beef from Brazil and frozen pork skin from Poland, noting that they tested 36 samples from about 1,100 cartons of frozen beef imported from Brazil by sea and found 1 outer packaging and 2 inner packaging samples that tested positive. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje wants northern broadcast media organizations to team up in the fight against drug abuse in the country. At the 7th annual general meeting of the Broadcast Media Owners Association holding in Kano, Ganduje said that media can play a leading role in the fight against drug addiction. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin report.
These are owners and representatives of various media organizations across northern Nigeria deliberating on the role of the media in fighting the menace of drug abuse across the region. According to Governor Ganduje, to eliminate drugs among youth, media has to rise up to the challenges of its social responsibility.
Through the various efforts of the media, people have come to be informed and kept in space with the events and happenings locally and at the international level. However, with the liberalization of the broadcast media, the industry has witnessed remarkable growth, resulting in frequent breach of ethical conduct. The overbearing proprietorship impact, the focus of attention on personality at the expense of serious national issues and over-sensationalization, as well as consideration of commercial interest over collective interest, are some of the unpleasant practices that could hinder the role of broadcast media in nation building.
With over 10 million youth involved
Now, Moses Oko, the suspected killer of a level 300 student of University of Jos, Jennifer Anthony, has been arraigned before a Plateau State High Court sitting in Jos. The suspect is charged on Monday for murder and mischief by the police. When the charges were read to the suspect, Oko neither accepts nor denies the charge. The suspect refused to comment on the charges and behaved to have not heard what was read before him. The judge thereafter adjourned the case to the 3rd and 4th of March for hearing. Jennifer's corpse was found on January 1, 2022 in Domus Passes guest house in Jos, with her eyes and other parts of her body removed. The State Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka, had on January 12 said that the suspect, who is believed to be the boyfriend of the victim, is arrested in Benue State. The suspect is said to have fled Jos after committing the crime. And now on the foreign scene, Taliban is creating a grand army for Afghanistan that will include officers and troops who served the old regime, with the task of overseeing the military's transformation. The head of the Taliban's Ranks Clearance Commission, Latifullah Hakimi, announced this in a news conference on Monday. He said they had repaired half of the 81 helicopters and planes supposedly rendered unserviceable by the United States-led forces during last year's chaotic withdrawal, noting that Taliban forces took control of over 300,000 light arms, 26,000 heavy weapons and about 61,000 military vehicles during their lightning takeover of the country. Afghanistan's armed forces disintegrated in the face of a Taliban onslaught ahead of the August 31 US-led force withdrawal, often abandoning their bases and leaving behind all their weapons and vehicles, while the Taliban has promised a general amnesty for everyone linked to the old regime, but nearly all senior government and military officials were among the over 120,000 people who evacuated by air in the final days. And with that, we wrap up Trust News Update. Connect with us via our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube to watch us live. I am Ayuba Ilia. Thank you for watching.